and a warm welcome back to the USA English Podcast. We are so happy you've joined us today for another practical English lesson. I'm Erica.
And I'm Marco. On this channel, our mission is to help you speak English naturally, confidently, and clearly through real conversations. Today's topic is something that will make your English sound much more native-like and colorful.
That's right. Today we're talking about how native speakers describe their day using idioms and natural English phrases. When you listen to native speakers, you'll notice they don't just say, "I'm tired" or "I was busy." They use expressions like, "I'm running on empty," "I hit the ground running," or "I'm swamped."
Exactly. And that's what we want to teach you today. We're going to share common idioms and natural phrases that native speakers use every single day to describe their daily lives, their work, their energy levels, and their feelings.
These phrases will help you sound more fluent, more natural, and more connected to native speakers. You'll understand them better, and you'll be able to use them in your own conversations.
If you enjoy learning with us, please give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss a lesson.
All right, Marco, let's get started.
So, Erica, how was your day today?
Oh, it's been one of those days. I hit the ground running this morning, and I haven't stopped since. I had back-to-back meetings, answered a million emails, and now I'm running on empty.
Wow, that sounds exhausting. I can totally relate. I feel like I've been burning the candle at both ends lately. Work has been crazy, and I've been trying to keep up with everything.
I know what you mean. It feels like there are never enough hours in the day. But I'm glad we're here to record this lesson. It's actually a nice break from the chaos.
Absolutely. And speaking of describing our days, that's exactly what we're going to teach today. Let's dive into our main lesson.
So, Marco, let's start with the most basic question. Why do native speakers use idioms and natural phrases instead of simple words?
Great question. Native speakers use idioms because they make language more colorful, expressive, and engaging. Instead of saying, "I'm very busy," you can say, "I'm swamped," or "I have a lot on my plate." It paints a picture.
Yes, idioms add flavor to language. They also help you sound more like a native speaker. If you use "I'm swamped," people will think, "Wow, this person really knows English."
Exactly. And today we're going to give you the most common idioms and phrases native speakers use to describe their daily lives. Let's start with the morning.
Morning phrases. When you wake up, how do you feel? You might say, "I woke up on the wrong side of the bed." That means you woke up in a bad mood.
Another one is, "I'm not a morning person." That means you don't like mornings. You prefer later in the day.
And if you woke up feeling energetic, you might say, "I'm full of energy today," or "I'm ready to take on the day."
What about when you're tired in the morning?
You can say, "I didn't sleep a wink," if you didn't sleep at all, or "I tossed and turned all night," if you couldn't sleep well.
Those are great. Now let's talk about morning routines. When you start your day, you might say, "I hit the ground running." That means you start working immediately with a lot of energy.
Yes, I use that one a lot. Another common phrase is, "I ease into the day." That means you take your time in the morning and start slowly.
And if you're rushing, you might say, "I'm in a rush this morning," or "I'm running late."
Exactly. Now, let's talk about work and daily tasks. This is where you'll hear a lot of idioms.
One of the most common is, "I'm swamped." That means you have way too much to do. You're overwhelmed with work.
Another one is, "I have a lot on my plate." That means you have many responsibilities and tasks to handle.
And if you're very busy, you might say, "I don't have a moment to spare," or "I'm up to my ears in work."
Yes, those are very expressive. And if things are going well, you might say, "Everything is falling into place," or "Things are looking up."
What if things are chaotic?
Then you can say, "It's been a hectic day," or "It's pure chaos over here," or I feel like I'm chasing my tail. That means you're busy but not making progress.
I love chasing my tail. It's such a vivid picture. Now let's talk about feeling tired or overwhelmed. That's something everyone experiences.
If you're really tired, you can say, I'm running on empty. That means you have no energy left.
Another one is I'm wiped out. That means completely exhausted.
And if you're tired but still trying, you might say, I'm running on fumes. That means you're barely functioning.
Yes, and if you need a break, you might say, I need to recharge my batteries, or I need a breather.
Those are so useful. Now let's talk about social life and making plans. These are everyday conversations.
If you want to invite someone, you might say, are you free this weekend? Or do you want to hang out?
And if you're busy, you might say, I'm tied up this weekend, or I have a lot going on.
Another natural phrase is, let me check my schedule, or let me get back to you on that.
And if you're excited about something, you might say, I'm looking forward to it, or I can't wait.
What about when you don't want to do something?
You can say, I'm not really in the mood, or I'll take a rain check. That means you want to do it later.
Those are perfect. Now let's talk about describing your day to someone. When someone asks, how was your day, you can give a more interesting answer.
Instead of just saying good or busy, you can say, it was a roller coaster of a day. That means it had many ups and downs.
Another one is, it was a productive day, or it was a slow day. That means nothing much happened.
And if you had a bad day, you might say, it was a tough day, or it was a rough day, or I had a day from hell. But that's a bit stronger.
Now let's talk about describing your feelings and mood. Native speakers have many natural phrases for this.
If you're happy, you might say, I'm on cloud 9, or I'm over the moon. These mean you're extremely happy.
And if you're sad, you might say, I'm feeling a bit down, or I'm in a funk.
If you're angry, you might say, I'm fed up, or I've had enough.
And if you're stressed, you can say, I'm feeling the pressure, or I'm stressed out.
Now let's talk about describing your energy levels. This is very common in daily conversation.
If you're full of energy, you can say, I'm full of beans. That means you're very energetic.
Or I feel great, or I'm on top of the world.
And if you're low on energy, you can say, I'm feeling drained, or I'm out of steam.
Out of steam is very natural. It's like a train that has no more power.
Now let's talk about idioms for success and failure. These are useful for work and life.
If you did very well, you can say, I nailed it, or I crushed it. That means you did something perfectly.
Another one is, I knocked it out of the park. That means you did exceptionally well.
And if you made a mistake, you can say, I dropped the ball, or I messed up.
And if you failed but learned something, you might say, it was a learning experience, or you win some, you lose some.
Now let's talk about idioms for time and schedules. These are very practical.
If something happens exactly on time, you can say, it was right on time, or it was punctual.
If something is late, you can say, it's running behind schedule, or it's delayed.
And if you have no time, you can say, I'm pressed for time, or I'm in a time crunch.
And if you want to say something happened quickly, you can say, it happened in the blink of an eye.
Let's talk about idioms for money and expenses. These are also very common.
If something is expensive, you can say, it costs an arm and a leg. That's a very common idiom.
Another one is, it's a bargain, or it's a steal, if something is cheap.
And if you have very little money, you can say, I'm broke, or I'm strapped for cash. Erica.
Now, let's talk about idioms for relationships. These are important for social life.
If you get along with someone well, you can say, we hit it off. That means we connected quickly.
Another one is, we're on the same page. That means we agree or have the same understanding.
And if you don't get along, you can say, we don't see eye to eye. That means we don't agree.
And if you have a good relationship, you can say, we're like two peas in a pod. That means we're very similar.
Now, let's talk about idioms for challenges and difficulties. Life has ups and downs.
If you're facing a difficult situation, you can say, I'm going through a rough patch. That means you're having a difficult time.
Another one is, I'm in a tight spot. That means you're in a difficult situation.
And if you overcome something difficult, you can say, I got through it or I pulled through.
Now let's talk about idioms for celebrations and good news. These are positive and fun.
If you get good news, you can say, I'm thrilled or I'm overjoyed.
Another one is, I'm on top of the world. That means you're very happy.
And if you want to celebrate, you can say, let's celebrate or let's pop the champagne.
Now let's talk about idioms for when you don't understand something.
You can say, I'm lost or I can't make heads or tails of this. That means you don't understand it at all.
Another one is, it's all Greek to me. That means you don't understand it.
And if you want someone to explain again, you can say, could you walk me through that? Or can you explain it in plain English?
Now let's talk about idioms for making decisions. Everyone makes decisions daily.
If you're undecided, you can say, I'm on the fence. That means you can't decide.
Another one is, I'm torn between two options. That means you're conflicted.
And if you finally decide, you can say, I've made up my mind, or I've reached a decision.
Now let's talk about idioms for health and well-being. These are very common.
If you're healthy, you can say, I'm in good shape, or I'm fit as a fiddle.
And if you're not feeling well, you can say, I'm feeling under the weather, or I'm coming down with something.
And if you recover, you can say, I'm on the mend, or I'm feeling better.
Now let's talk about idioms for work and career. Professional life has its own language.
If you're trying to get a promotion, you can say, I'm climbing the corporate ladder.
Another one is, I'm networking, or I'm building connections.
And if you lose your job, you can say, I got laid off, or I was let go.
And if you quit, you can say, I handed in my resignation, or I called it quits.
Now let's talk about idioms for travel and adventure. Many people love to travel.
If you love traveling, you can say, I have wanderlust. That means a strong desire to travel.
Another one is, I'm planning my next trip, or I'm getting away from it all.
And if you're back from a trip, you can say, I'm back from my travels, or I'm recovered from my trip.
Now let's talk about idioms for food and eating. These are very relatable.
If you're very hungry, you can say, I'm starving, or I'm famished.
Another one is, my stomach is growling. That means you're hungry.
And if you eat too much, you can say, I'm stuffed, or I'm full to the brim.
Now let's talk about idioms for sleep and rest. Everyone needs rest.
If you sleep very well, you can say, I slept like a baby, or I slept like a log.
And if you sleep badly, you can say, I tossed and turned, or I had a restless night.
And if you need sleep, you can say, I need my beauty sleep, or I'm going to crash.
Now let's put some of these together in a natural conversation. Let me start.
Sure. So Marco, how was your day today?
Oh man, it was a roller coaster. I hit the ground running this morning, then I had back-to-back meetings. I feel like I've been running on empty since lunch. How about you?
Same here. I'm swamped with work, and I have a lot on my plate. But I'm looking forward to the weekend. I need to recharge my batteries.
I hear you. I'm planning to take it easy this weekend. I might just stay home and do nothing. I'm so drained.
That sounds like a perfect plan. I might join you in doing nothing.
You know, that's a natural conversation, and it's full of the idioms we've been teaching.
It really is, and it sounds so much more interesting than just saying I was busy and I'm tired.
Now let's move to our vocabulary breakdown. We'll go over the most important idioms from today's lesson.
Let's start with hit the ground running. This means to start working immediately with a lot of energy. For example, I hit the ground running this morning.
Next is running on empty. This means you have no energy left. For example, I've been running on empty all day.
Another one is swamped. This means extremely busy and overwhelmed. For example, I'm swamped with work this week.
A lot on my plate means having many responsibilities. For example,
I have a lot on my plate right now.
Burn the candle at both ends means working very hard and not sleeping enough. For example, I've been burning the candle at both ends.
On cloud 9 means extremely happy. For example, I was on cloud 9 when I got the news.
Feeling under the weather means not feeling well. For example, I'm feeling a bit under the weather today.
Feeling under the weather means not feeling well. For example, I'm feeling a bit under the weather today.
Break the ice means to start a conversation in a social situation. For example, I tried to break the ice by telling a joke. Once in a blue moon means very rarely. For example, I go to the theater once in a blue moon.
Costs an arm and a leg means very expensive. For example, that new phone costs an arm and a leg.
See eye to eye means to agree with someone. For example, we don't always see eye to eye, but we respect each other.
Piece of cake means very easy. For example, the exam was a piece of cake.
In the same boat means in the same situation. For example, we're all in the same boat with this project.
Keep an eye on means to watch something carefully. For example, can you keep an eye on my bag?
Erica, pull someone's leg means to tease or joke with someone. For example, I'm just pulling your leg. I'm not really angry.
Hit the nail on the head means to be exactly right. For example, you hit the nail on the head with that observation.
Let the cat out of the bag means to reveal a secret. For example, I accidentally let the cat out of the bag about the party.
Go the extra mile means to make extra effort. For example, she always goes the extra mile for her clients.
And call it a day means to stop working for the day. For example, let's call it a day and go home.
That's a great list of idioms for daily life, and we used many of them in our conversation.
Exactly, and now you know how to use them naturally.
Okay, Erica, that was a lot of idioms and natural phrases.
It really was, but I think these are so useful for everyday conversations. Let's think about what we learned. First, we learned that native speakers use idioms and natural phrases to make their speech more colorful and expressive. Then we covered morning phrases like hit the ground running and not a morning person. Then we talked about work and busyness with phrases like swamped and a lot on my plate. We also covered feelings and emotions with phrases like on cloud 9 and feeling under the weather. Then we talked about social plans with phrases like take a rain check and looking forward to something. We covered challenges with phrases like rough patch and in a tight spot.
Erica, and we talked about relationships with phrases like hit it off and see eye to eye.
Finally, we gave you a long list of common idioms with examples.
The big lesson is that idioms make your English sound more natural and fluent. They help you connect with native speakers.
And you don't need to memorize all of them at once. Start with 5 or 10 and practice them in your daily conversations.
Exactly. And the more you use them, the more natural they become.
Now, we want to hear from you. This is our favorite part.
Yes, we love reading your comments. Our question of the day is, what is your favorite idiom from today's lesson and why?
I'll go first. My favorite is hit the ground running, because I feel like I start every day like that.
That's a great one. My favorite is running on empty, because I can relate to that after a long day.
See? We have different answers, and that's okay.
So viewers, we want to know about you. What idiom will you start using first?
You can write something like, my favorite idiom is on cloud 9, because I want to use it when I'm happy. Or, I'm going to use swamped when I'm busy. Or, I love piece of cake, because I want to talk about easy tasks.
Please tell us in the comments. Write a short answer and practice your English with us.
So please share your answer. We'd really love to read it.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. We hope this lesson helps you sound more natural in your English conversations.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up and click the subscribe button and the little bell. That way, you won't forget to join us for our next lesson.
Erica, you are all great students, and we're very happy to learn with you. Keep practicing. Remember, every idiom you learn brings you closer to fluency.
Yes. Don't be afraid to use idioms. They're fun and they make your English sparkle.
Have a wonderful day, evening, and night, wherever you are.
Take care. Keep learning and keep speaking English.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. See you in the next lesson.